we did a proof of concept a little while ago, and then implemented the use of SortSpoke within our system and our, I guess, day-to-day underwriting. We have about 12 to 14 underwriters working on this on a day-to-day basis, and we use this right now solely to extract the data for financial statements. So we capture a fair number of fields, and what we've noticed is that this can obviously take a considerable amount of time for underwriters to review the financial statements that they receive on a new submission and then enter it into our underwriting system manually. This typically takes anywhere from 3 to 8 minutes and sometimes a little longer depending on the complexity of the statements. So when running through this with SortSpoke, we've been able to cut this down to 45 seconds up to 120 seconds, give or take, just be with the system. And that would also include, as Brandon showed in the demonstration, of highlighting or correcting some of the values as SortSpoke continues to learn. And through that learning process, actually, SortSpoke, it didn't really take very long, since we were only sticking with one fairly static type of document, being a financial statement. The fields are generally that we're capturing are generally the same, and it only took about 25 to 50 documents, I recall, in the proof of concept to get up to speed and be working fairly efficiently. And then it's only gotten better over time since then, as we've onboarded additional users and therefore additional documents on a continuous basis. The other benefit is this SortSpoke was able to plug directly into our system so that we only had to go add the document to SortSpoke, which would produce a file that could be easily read by our underwriting system and fully populate the values. And then another item that we noticed that was a huge benefit to us was that it could load multiple documents at a time into the system. So if an underwriter were to receive a few submissions over the course of the morning and there were a number of different financial statements, they could put all of those financial statements into SortSpoke and get that process started right away, and then prioritize their day accordingly. And then we also noticed that there was actually a lot less human error, and the underwriters were able to catch, when we were doing the proof of concept, the underwriters were able to review previous accounts where we had used the similar data and noticed that SortSpoke was able to catch any, manual typing errors that were entered into the system incorrectly. So if an underwriter saving about 5 minutes on average per submission, and over a dozen or so underwriters doing that in a day, that adds up pretty quickly to kind of time value add for their day. So they're able to expand out and do more marketing, be a little bit more in-depth on their underwrite, and just add time overall, which is something that everybody seems to be losing these days. And finally, I guess my last comment on it, putting this into the workflow was actually pretty seamless. Since it's such an easy drag and drop function, implementing this into SortSpoke, it was almost just overnight that underwriters were able to adapt without any major questions or issues with their current workflow.